Hello everyone and welcome to Everything Star Wars. I'm your host Rob. Today I come to you because it's kind of sad. The creator of something I loved, Stan Lee has passed at the age of 95. There is no reason as to right now. I can only assume natural causes. I haven't heard anything. His attorney announced this today. Going to go over an article from CNN. Down below in my comment section, I will put a video of every cameo that Stan Lee has made, and also there's another one with the last movie, Venom, and that will be included down in the comment section below. So I know it's not Star Wars related, but this is like the George Lucas to me. He's like Vince McMahon in wrestling. He's the creator. He made this wonderful world that we now know with Spider-Man and Iron Man and Thor and Avengers and all that we watch. Black Panther. This is the man. And just want to tell about his story. Let's talk about the article. Stan Lee, the colorful Marvel Comics, who helped usher in a new era of superhero storytelling and saw his creations become a giant influence in the movie business, has now died. He was 95 years old. Kurt Schenick, an attorney for Lee's daughter, tells CNN the comic giant died Monday morning. The cause of death is not yet known, according to the attorney. Stan Lee began his career at what was then Timely Comics in 1939. He was a writer, editor, and an occasional illustrator. He was bored with the output and was preparing to leave the company when history took a sudden turn. For many years, the business had been dominated by DC, who was then known as National Comics, creators of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Green Lantern. In the late 50s, DC started re-imaging its heroes, kicking off what comics historians call the Silver Age of the business. But those figures were still largely otherworldly and two-dimensional, living in made-up places such as Gotham City and Metropolis. In the early 60s, Lee was asked to come up with a team of superheroes to compete against DC's Justice League. With the notable help of artists such as Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, he helped instigate a revolution, though Lee didn't see it that way at the time. If my publisher hadn't said, let's do superhero stories, I'd probably still be doing A Kid Called Outlaw, The Two-Gun Kid, or Millie the Model, or whatever I was doing at the time, he told CNN in 2013. Marvel revolutionized the comics business with a series of flawed, more human superheroes. Its figures lived in the real world. A few were based in New York City, with all its dirt and glamour, and struggled with everyday challenge, whether it was paying the rent or wondering about their purposes in life. First came the Fantastic Four, a superhero team probably most famous with the grumpy, rock-skinned Thing. Following success, Lee and Marvel introduced such characters as Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, X-Men, and Daredevil. These new superheroes, all created a burst between 1961 and 64, were hugely popular and allowed Marvel to surpass DC in both sales and fashionableness. Spider-Man in particular became the imprint's signature character, and a photographer named Peter Parker, who had, after being bitten by a radioactive spider, develops spider-like powers. Parker was forever clashing with newspaper editor J. Jonah Jameson, an angry, cigar-chomping person who was no better than Perry White. Wondering about his relationship with Mary Jane Watson and worrying about his fragile Aunt May. Crime fighting was the least of his concerns. I never thought that Spider-Man would be a worldwide icon that he is. I just hoped the books would sell and I keep my job, Lee said in 2006. Many of the characters were developed for TV with varying degrees of success, but it was the emergence of the Marvel Universe in the movies, especially with the X-Men franchise, and Sam Raimi's directed Spider-Man in 2002 that truly made the brand In 2009, the Walt Disney Company purchased Marvel Entertainment, the licensing arm of the comic book brand, for $4 billion. Oh, that sounds familiar now, doesn't it? They like that number, $4 billion. Purchasing $4 billion for Star Wars, $4 billion for Marvel. Pretty interesting. By that point, Lee had long since become more of a company figurehead rather than a writer and editor in day-to-day trenches. He became the company's editorial director in publishing in 1972, and eventually immersed himself in spreading the Marvel gospel, often with the exclamation "Excelsior." He's had bit parts in most of the films featuring the company's characters. He was occasionally criticized for cheerleading for himself as much as Marvel. It wasn't all joy for Lee. Though the success of the movies made the characters worth billions, Lee maintained what he saw little of that wealth. Even so, he saw more than artist Kirby, who many comics historians credit with molding a number of characters. Over the years, the credit for the characters and therefore the profits has been subject to court cases, some involving Kirby or his family. The character's impact, however, is indisputable. Marvel characters are known world over, and its films have become huge successes. I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer while other people were building bridges, said Stan Lee, or going on medical careers. He told the Washington Post, and then began to realize entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they might go off the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain people, you're doing a good thing. He retained a lifelong passion for the medium he helped mold and wouldn't tolerate disdain. Comic books should be written as one word. So from now on, I want you to remember that, he said in a 2012 YouTube video. They are not funny books. They are not comic books. They are comic books. Remember that or incur my wrath. Lee filed a suit against his former company, POW Entertainment, in May, alleging it conspired with two employees to steal his identity. The company announced in July that the suit had been dismissed by Lee. The whole thing has been confusing to everyone, including myself and the fans, but I am now happy to be surrounded by those who want the best for me. Lee also said, I am thrilled to put the lawsuit behind me and get back to the business with my friends and colleagues at POW, and launched a next wave of amazing characters and stories. That's the end of the article. What do you think of this? You could put your thoughts in the comment section below. Me? I think it's pretty amazing. I think it's a pretty cool story, Stan Lee. I'm sad. I have to be honest. I'm not. It's been rough. I'm going to be honest. I've lost 3 people since September. I've lost 2 work people who were very close to me. And I just lost another acquaintance of mine in Florida, or South Carolina, this week. I'm hurt a lot. This news, even though I didn't know Stan from a personal point of view, still hurts a lot, because he felt like your family. He felt like when you lose someone of that high stature, even though you don't know them personally, they meant a lot to your life because they brought, like he said, entertainment. They brought some kind of joy. He brought Spider-Man to me, and that's my favorite. Next to Star Wars, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. And yes, there's Batman, there's Superman. I like them. There's a lot of superheroes. I love the X-Men movies. I loved Iron Man, and the movies brought out interest in me I didn't have as a kid. I wasn't interested in X-Men. All I care about is Spider-Man. It was crazy. Spider-Man, Venom, Daredevil. I used to get. Those are my comics. Star Wars, of course. Transformers. And they all had comic books. I tried to read them almost all of them. G.I. Joe. I'm going to miss Stan. I wish I could have met him. I wanted to. He was at Comic Cons. I just didn't have the money. And it sucks. That's something I guess I'll regret. That I couldn't get the money to go to meet him. I kind of wish like he was my grandfather. Not money, not because of money. Nothing to do with money. It's just his persona, his personality. The one thing I do have is when I go to Universal. I don't know if you've gone to Universal Studios. You could ride the Spider-Man ride, and he's the narrator of it. And it's a fantastic ride. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've gone on it multiple times. I mean, over and over again. I probably go on it twice every time I'm there. Once in the morning and then once at night. I have to. Spider-Man's my favorite. Love that ride, and it's awesome to hear Stan Lee narrate it. And I think it's going to be more now when I go in the future. I definitely will make it my business to ride that ride in memory of Stan Lee. So, I'm not thrilled today. There's not much more I can say, I'm sad, and hey, is what it is, I guess. So if you want to put anything in the comment section, for free, if you want to give me a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, I'd appreciate it. How did you feel about Stan Lee? I'd love to know that. Let me know in the comment section below what he meant to you, your childhood. I'd love to read it. I really would. I mean it. If you can do that, that'd be great. If you don't, just leave a message for him. Hey, feel free. I know it's not Star Wars, but listen, I do like Marvel too. And so I want to cover this. This is Robert Delavis for all of us who love Star Wars. Hope you're having a good day. God rest you. God, rest in peace, Stan Lee. Thank you. Thank you for all you did, and for creating this other world that I love, besides Star Wars, which gets me away from life. Thank you. As he said, I realized how important it was to entertain people, because sometimes it would just drive, without entertainment, it would drive people crazy, and he did a great job. Fantastic. So, rest in peace, Mr. Lee. Thank you for the wonderful memories. Down below again in the comments will be every cameo, a video that someone made. Check it out. And I put the Venom, his last cameo appearance, down there too. Take care, everyone. Till next time. Have a good day.